peace. The title is between quotes because this affirmation, peace in the world begins with me, is the first sentence of the song composed with someone that I forgot right now, but it is in one of the slides. And it was specifically composed so many years ago, more than 20 years ago, in Brazil for the first Peace and You movement founded by Divaldo Pereira Franco, a renewed Brazilian speaker, medium, psychograph, more than 400 titles, currently returning already to the spirit realm. So in October 2008, the Spirit Society of Baltimore, it was its 10th birthday. So for its 10th birthday here in Baltimore, we celebrate the first Peace and You movement of the United States of America. And we invite, or actually Daniel and Vanessa and some others that were the board of directors of the SSB at the time, invite Divaldo Franco, General Jorge Godinho, and some others as speakers and also as a recipients of the Peace and You Movement Award. And then they created, or we created, the SSB, we created this book that is called Transform Your Health with Inner Peace. And here is a beautiful connection between last week, Kirsten's presentation, and this presentation. So we see that is a mastermind beyond us. Because in order for us to conquer health and victory, we need to build, to create, to agency peace inside of us. So most of the concepts that we're going to share tonight are from this book, and this book is basically, how do you say when somebody has a presentation and talk and then they type it? Is that like I'm talking and someone just type what I'm writing and then publish that? That's it. So we're going to start now. Well, we already start. So we want to start with this. The Prince of Peace, Jesus. I leave you peace, my peace I give you. But I don't give it to you as the world giveth. So he's talking of a peace that is different than the peace of the world. What is the peace of the world? The absence of war? What is the peace of the world? A beautiful morning landscape and the birds singing. Yes, that's peaceful. What is the peace of the world? Silence? Everybody be quiet and silence? What is it? So whatever idea we have in our mind about peace, very likely it is not. Jesus is bringing us a different type of peace that sometimes we cannot describe with words, but we feel it. We are like, and we feel it. And this was the slide for what is the peace, or getting home after a long day of work and sitting from the TV, or is the peace that governments create. That's not the peace that we are looking for today, but that we are eventually going to get, right? Because if we are living currently in a planet of trials and expiation, and then we are going to the one of regeneration, it is very likely that we are going to be happier there, peaceful there. So the conflicts, how do you say conflictos armados? Armed conflicts, thank you. I thought it was different. The armed conflicts and everything that we see nowadays in the news is going to be very unlikely to see in our next step. But we are responsible of creating the world that we want to live in the future. At least Albita's plan is to discarnate in a couple of years from now, and I wanted to come back here and find a better world, a more peaceful world. So I am creating my own future. So in this book, Divaldo Franco asks the question, it is possible to think about peace in a transitory world that is undergoing constant transformation? It is. And now with social media and everything, and the FOMO is FOMO, fear of missing out, and everything is like, I am going to find peace in this world. But Divaldo answered, yes, it is possible. If we connect ourselves to the power source, if we harmonize our mind, body, and emotions, we will live in peace. And Joanna de Angeli said in the reading, chapter 95 of Happy Life, right? Control, manage your emotions. Meaning, oh my God, I am so mad today. But I breathe and I say, okay, I am mad. I recognize I am mad. I am a human being. I'm going to imaginary drink that cup of water and hold it in my mouth so I don't say something that I'm going to regret later. Or I don't type the email that I'm going to regret later, or the text message or the voice, whatever it is. So that's the harmony between our mind, our body, our emotions. And this sounds beautifully. Oh, yes, to have harmony between the three of them. We're going to do it, yeah. Viva la paz. Yeah, go for peace. But how we are going to acquire this? We're going to see it. We're going to get to see a little bit more. Divaldo says to get that state of peace, as Buddha used to say, compassion is necessary. So he's giving us here the key. How I'm going to acquire this harmony between my body, my mind, and my emotions. What do I need to do? What do I need to do to lose 20 pounds? Okay, you're going to do this diet and these exercises, right? And there is a plan. There is a plan. And then we commit to the plan. Because if I don't commit, if I'm doing my diet Monday to Friday, by Saturday and Sunday, I'm out of control, guess what? We're not losing weight. Sounds like a personal experience. The same is with our mind and our emotions. We need to practice and we need to commit and compromise. So compassion. Where is compassion? Feeling what the other person is feeling. When we see that little bird that fell from the nets, right, it's in the ground and all disoriented and can't fly again, and we are like, oh, poor chick. That's compassion. Because we know it is a very vulnerable being on the ground and it needs to be back home. But we're not going to touch it. That's just an advice because then the mother smells and they don't go back. But that is compassion in a very, very simple level. But a compassion when someone is insulting us, that is a greater way of compassion. Because what we want to do? React immediately. But we saw in the slide before is the harmony between mind, emotions, and body. Meaning that reaction is not anymore in our vocabulary if we want to become better human beings and we are going to the angelic realm, right? We already went to the mineral, vegetable, animal, and we're going to the angelic. So we need to do something about it. So my compassion towards that individual usually is at work, right? Sometimes at home it happens. that they push our bottoms very easily is first compassion for myself. I'm not going to put myself in a situation that I'm going to regret later. And then I retire, I move somewhere, I take distance from the situation. Then I think, she must be having a very bad day today. Maybe it's in pain, some sort of pain, moral pain, physical pain. What if his car didn't work this morning, needed to pay a lot of money for the Uber? We don't know. We don't know people's lives. So that's the compassion. But we need it in the moment to practice compassion to ourselves and to quickly think, what is going to happen to me if I say 2 plus 2 are, probably nothing good is going to come out of it. And we're not going to have the space to have a conversation later, to put the points in the table, everything on the table and say, I think this is this, and you think that and that. And we come to a point of agreement or compromise, right? Compassion. Compassion. It's coming from the heart. According with Divaldo Franco, the heart is over here, somewhere close to our brain. But we know the heart is here. With this feeling of compassion, a huge caring feeling toward our neighbors grow within us, an uncontrollable desire to help them, because our happiness becomes the happiness of others. God is incredible because we don't have any other words, but nothing in its creation is by itself. Please help me. A single atom of something in the entire universe is going to perish. A single cell of skin, poor baby, dead. We need groups. We need the community. We were created in groups, family members, communities, right? If we see the human body, groups of cells, groups of organs, we are in communities. The solar system is not just the sun and planet Earth, it's a system. And therefore, my peace, my happiness is the peace and happiness of my neighbor. So I need to make sure that you guys are happy and are in peace, because you will bring me peace and happiness. It's kind of a selfish a little bit, but that is compassion too. And to understand a little bit more, acquiring, building, creating peace in our inside, in our inner self, in our spirit, we found out this story about the muddy water, and it's a Buddha story. And Albita, why are you bringing so much about Buddha? This is a spirit center. Yes, it is. And when we find that something aligns with our spiritual teachings, it's because it's the universality of the truth. We find the truth in different places, right? But this is a spiritist talk. But we're going to mention Buddha here and later on with the Tibetan monks. So here it is Buddha, and he was walking in a region with his disciples. And they were walking, and it was a sunny day, and the Buddha got thirsty, and they were passing through near a lake. And he asked the youngest disciple, the most impatient one, zero patience, nothing, he wanted things right there, right now. And Buddha knew. So he said, hey, brother, I am so thirsty. Can you get me a cup of water from the lake? Sure, master. And he diligently went to the lake. It happened that when he was there on the lake, from the other side, a cart pulled by oxes was crossing by. It seems like it was shallow water, right? So the cart went to the side where the monk was, and when the monk was to get some water, it was very muddy because of the car and the oxes. They move all the sediments on the bottom of the lake. So he came back and he said, Master, I couldn't get you your water because it's all muddy. And he said, okay, we wait. 30 minutes later, Buddha asked again the same disciple, go and see. He goes. The water is still muddy. The disciple goes and say, hey, I'm going to the nearest town. I'm going to get some clean water for you. And Buddha, all serene, was like, no, we're going to wait. I'm waiting for an impatient person, young person. Nothing against young, he said, being impatient. Oops. So he was there, an hour passed by, and Buddha again asked, okay, go and check. He went and checked, and it was still muddy. So this disciple come back and say, I cannot give you clean water. What should I do? And Buddha, serene, like nothing happened, like 2 hours were nothing. He was like, we're going to wait. But master, by this time, I were back from the town, etc. Again, 30 more minutes, the same dynamic, but this time, the water was clean. So he take, right? We assuming it's good drinkable water. Take it back to Buddha and say, here is your cup of water. And Buddha is like, thank you. Thank you, my brother. What did you do to clean the water? Like it was a surprise. And the disciples say, I did nothing. And Buddha say, no, you did. And the disciple, no, I did nothing. And Buddha says, you did. You wait. So we wait. And sometimes when we are in a very challenging situation, circumstance, the best thing to do is nothing. But this nothing is an active nothing. It's not nothing, I'm going to scratch my belly and watch TV. No. It is a nothing of, I'm not going to preoccupy, to generate emotions of concern and stress about the situation. I'm going just to let it flow, to let it go, and how my good friend, she's a Christian, she says, put it in the hands of God. Yes, we put it in the hands of God, Christian or whatever is our religious. And then we come back to the issue, and we will find the answer, or someone will call us. Or these things happen. Have you observed in your lives? These things happens. With mundane things like I don't have the money to get to the end of the month. I'm a single parent, have 2 kids, whatever is our situation, what I'm going to do, the rent. It's not being idle or lazy, it's trusting our divine nature. And knowing that we have a creator, a father, a mother, God, that loves us so profoundly that she, it only wants our happiness and our growth. So in a serene mind, we can think about solutions. We can be creative. Creativity doesn't come when we are super stressed, with a lot of stress. Creativity comes when we are calm, when we are serene, when we are in peace. So we let that water just to calm down, and we will see. So the main inspiration for this presentation was the Walk for Peace from, again, Buddhist monks, that they are actually local. They are from Texas. And they decide in October, or before October, maybe they took the decision that they needed, not they wanted, but they needed to do something about for peace. And they started without any agenda, and they finished without any agenda. But it was the simple act of walking 2,300 miles from a town in Texas to Washington, D.C., and to create awareness about peace. That's it. No political, no social, no religious agenda, nothing. Just bringing peace. So they start their walk. They weren't very famous in October because very few people knew about it, but they had their Facebook page, and the dog, what's the name of the dog? Aloka has his very own Facebook page too, because it's also so sweet to see his story. They're very mellow dog. And the more they walk, the more social media attention they got. So in December, probably when we saw them in our Facebook feed there, and we start following them, and every day they post a very enlightening, uplifting reading. May all beings be in peace. May all beings be free of pain. May all beings be happy and good. Things of the sort. And we're like, oh, this is good. And then to see their answer, how people respond to 20 guys dressing in orange dresses, walking in silence, not asking for anything to anybody. You just go and follow. They still have the page, and they continue posting very enlightening things. It was fascinating because we as a society, we are thirsty for peace, for inner peace, and for peace in the community. So they walk with flowers, they receive fruits, they have specific points in which they stop, they have a presentation, they talk with the people. And one of the things that brought us to tears, it was seeing this gentleman, a senior gentleman, in a wheelchair. Just, and it's a picture, actually, the story is right there, just with his head down. And one of the monks was touching his head, wishing him peace. And the guy is in tears. Because this is something that we need. We need food, we need water, we need people around us that love us, and we need peace. We need to have that certainty inside of ourselves that everything is going to be all right. Albeit that sounds like a very cheesy sentence. It is, but it is truth. Everything is going to be all right. Everything. Because if we see with a bigger lens in perspective, we are spirits, millennium spirits. We already went through most challenges and difficult situations that we are living right now. For sure. This is our best reincarnation so far. And this is the best version of ourselves. So why we are going to doubt that things are not going to be better? Albita, but I'm suffering, I have this illness or this condition. Yes, That's truth. We are not going to get rid of suffering on this planet. That's for sure, because that's our teacher. But it's the attitude that we have in front, that pain, moral pain, physical pain, whatever pain we have is, I accept you. I understand that I'm not doing well. Ooh. I know this is painful. God, please help me. And then we reach out for others. I'm not feeling well. I need to see a doctor. I need whatever is what we need. We need to seek for this help, spiritual help, to have fortitude, and also for people around us. It helps us to work a little bit in our pride. When we are vulnerable, when we are down, when we are there, down there, and just turning our eyes and say, hey, can you help me? It takes strength, but it's because our pride is blinding us. So we ask others. So this walk for peace, in one of the posts, we just brought just one here. I think it's this February 10th that we like it. The moment we stop running, stop letting our mind chase 1,000 things at once, and simply pause to breathe with awareness, to act with mindfulness, something miraculous happens. Peace reveals itself, not as something we found, but as something that's been holding us this whole time. May you and all beings be well, happy, and at peace. Is in our nature. So, how to clear the mood waters of our mind? And we're going to put all of them here. Oh, there are 6, right. And this is not new. We saw it last Saturday, and we have been learning this here for so long, right? Prayer, meditation, which are 2 different things. Because in prayer, usually we use words in our mind, or we verbalize, or we sing, or there are different ways to pray. But in meditation, we read the other day that prayer is when I talk to God, and meditation is when I listen to God. So basically, it's being quiet, super hard, at least for me. But we can practice, and the more we practice, the better we become, and the easier it is to go through these challenging times that we have in our lives. Centeredness, daily affirmations. Hey, you're welcome. We give you 2 or 3 today. Because what we put in our minds, it becomes real. Thoughts are things. This is a very, how do you say disco rayado? I forgot. A broken record. A broken record. What we put in our mind, right? Things are thoughts, positive thoughts. That's it. Cleansing of emotions and negative thoughts by doing nothing. We already mentioned what was it. Doing nothing. Just decompress. Vigilance of self-observation. As Kirsten mentioned last time also. Actually, Joanna de Angelis is telling us, hey, you better be vigilant. Yes, it is true. We have spiritual friends, and we have spirits that are not our friends. It's temporary. They will become eventually at some point. But for now, there are it's a party that has no interest in our growth, in our prosperity. That's for sure. And this is global. It's not only Albita or you here, my friends. It's all of us. But if we are strong in our mind and our emotions, and we keep it positive, definitely they are going to say, or they are going to get tired, and they are going to say, okay, we couldn't with this lady. So annoying. Or they're going to say, It's making sense because we are a role model for others, as Joanna says in Happy Life. So either way, vigilance and holding the water of peace in our mouth, as Andre Luis mentioned in the book, Our Home, right? Just imaginary water and we don't swallow. What are you doing? I'm not going to answer because I don't have a good answer for you right now. So 6 things. And we're going to move here a little bit faster. So now that we are exercising, working in our inner peace, Albita, how I am this simple human being here in this town in Maryland or in Pennsylvania, wherever we live, how I'm going to transform the world landscape and bring peace. I'm no Mother Teresa, I'm no Martin Luther King, I'm no Mahatma Gandhi, I'm not Jesus, come in. So how this happen? It is by like a domino effect. So if all of us here incarnates and discarnates, we are thinking peaceful thoughts, thoughts of serenity. We are not concerned about what's happening next or tomorrow or this week. We are present here. We are creating this ambience, this psychosphere that is going to have an impact probably downstairs. We don't know. Or upstairs in the spirit realm. And that way we are creating this conscience. And that's what the monks did. Start with 20 people walking and they have some other team in a truck or whatever following them. Exactly. So it was a bigger team. But they impact, I don't know how many, did you have the number, Abby? Do you know how many thousands of people millions of people, because it wasn't only here in the United States, it was around the world. And simple act of walking. When the storm hit us, they say, we are going to keep walking even during the storm. And that affirmation spoke it was like a aha moment for us. It's like even in the storm of our lives, we are going to continue walking towards betterment, towards our peace, our happiness, no matter what. So in this book that I mentioned at the beginning, right? Peace. Divaldo Franco brought some numbers from the UNESCO, and this is from 2008, but we Google, etc., and it is current, actually. So what is UNESCO? UNESCO stands for the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organizations, and it was founded after the Second World War in 1945, and headquarters are in Paris. And they have this affirmation right away in the front page of their website. Peace based exclusively upon the political and economic arrangements of governments will not be a peace which could secure the unanimous, lasting, and sincere support of the peoples of the world. Meaning, if we wait for governments, any government in any country, we are not being political here, but we are. But in the sense we're talking about political government. If we wait for them to establish conditions for peace, we're going to discarnate waiting. Because these conditions are not going to serve everybody, all the peoples. Peace must therefore be found, if not to fail, upon the intellectual and moral solidarity of mankind. So what was the key that the Buddha gave us to find peace? Start with C. Compassion. Yes, I understood. I understood something else. Yes, compassion. Intellectual and moral solidarity. Compassion. The two wings to elevate us, right? So the UNESCO, they have a manifest that they create in 2000, and they establishes a proposal for peace and non-violence, and there are 6 items for the construction of peace in the world. 6 items for inner peace, 6 items for worldwide peace. Respect life, all life, a mosquito life, yes, hard, but yes. Reject violence, but no responding with violence to violence. We're not going to eradicate violence with violence, as Maya Angelou's mentioned, right? Reject. Be generous. Listen to comprehend. Preserve the planet and rediscover solidarity. Sounds simple, right? And who can imagine that an organization is going to come with this? Listen to comprehend and be generous. So this is FYI, because whatever we are doing for our very own sake, we are doing it for the world. And here is the song that I mentioned at the beginning. It was Nando Cordell who composed it. So I'm going to read first the slide, Daniel, and then you play the music. I'm going to read the slide, and we play the music. We are going to be quiet by listening to the music and reading the slide and repeating in our mind. And this is the way we are going to conclude tonight's presentation. After we listen to the song, we will go to passes. I don't know if we're going to do spiritual passes, and then we go to fill our tummies. Peace in the world begins with me. When I choose love, inside I'm truly happy. When we are kind to one another, we know true love and greatness in our hearts. The time has come for building peace on earth. We don't believe in the lack of love. Peace for our children, peace for our forests, peace and for the courage to transform, peace for peace in truth and justice, peace for peace and inner freedom, peace for peace and for the beauty of loving you. Okay,
Final song is Peace for Peace. We invite all of you to sing along with us as heartily as you can. The world begins with me. I choose love. Inside I'm truly happy. We are kind one another. Know true love and greatness in our heart. Time has come to be some. Don't believe in the lack of love. Peace for peace for our children. Peace for peace for our forests. Peace for peace for the courage to transform. peace for peace. Loving you. Peace in the world begins with me. I choose love inside are truly happy. One another, love and greatness in our heart. Time has come for don't believe in the lack of love. Peace for children, peace for peace. For our fathers, peace for peace. And for the courage to transform. Peace, truth, justice, peace for peace. In freedom, peace for peace. In the beauty of loving you. Peace for peace.
Can I move from the podium? Invite you all to take a comfortable position, not to fall asleep, but to do a visualization of prayer. Daniel is working over there. He's going to put a music that is going to help us. So everybody just breathe. Again. If you want, you can close your eyes. And you